On the desk here are some warranty papers that I've registered, or some warranties for some equipment that I've registered on some of the stuff that I've done this month. I'm going to go over the different ones and where they came from, how I got them, because this video is going to be about how does the small guy get his business. And we're going to talk about each one and what works for me. But what works for me may or may not work for you. So anyway, let's go over it first. The first one we're going to do is friends of mine. See, I did three of them for friends, and one of my oldest customers is the last one back there. It was actually done March the 24th, and it was a furnace. This one here, it was a furnace, a condenser and a coil, and that one there was just a coil, or an air handler. I'm sorry. This one here, this stack here, these three here were referrals. See, that one was $420. This one here was a referral, $425, and this one back here was another furnace. It was done March the 15th, but it was a referral from a friend. And actually, the first one here was a referral from a referral, so that was a second time referral. Okay. Of course, these three here were friends, so that's 6 of them. We'll go over that one in a minute. This one here is kind of the most important one, and all it was just a coil. But a couple years ago, I got a phone call not from this guy, because this guy actually owns the house, but I got a phone call from his renter. He was just moving in the house, and it's the weirdest thing. Sometimes it happens to me like that. I was driving by his subdivision, and it was a Sunday, and he couldn't get his water heater lit for some reason. And I just happened to be driving by his house, and I said, you know what? I'll be there in 5 minutes, because I was right there when the guy called. So I drove to his house, and he just did not know how to light his pilot light. So I lit his pilot on his water heater for him, and I said, just call me next time when you got a problem. And sure enough, he called me last year. Unit was low on Freon. He called me this year, and we changed the coil. So far that's 6, 7. That's 7 so far. And this stack here, this is how, you see there's 4 of these. So that came from a different source. And I'll show you what they were first. This was a condenser and a coil. Actually, this was that coil in the crawl space, the low crawl, where I had to do that slab coil. This one was a condenser and a coil. This one was a condenser and a coil. And this was a air handler. And yeah, it was done last month too, and she was actually a referral from people that I'm fixing to talk about. Well, today we're going to be talking about how the small guy, like myself, small business guy, not the company with 4, 5, 6 trucks on the road with somebody answering the phone all the time, but a guy like me that carries his phone around with him all the time, gets the leads or gets work. I get a lot of work through referrals, but when I first started, I didn't have any contacts, because I'd always worked for people, and I'm the type of guy, I'm honest, so I didn't contact any of those prior customers that I'd done that liked me. Let them stay with the company. I could have, but I'm just not like that. As a matter of fact, I do work with this guy that he comes up here during the summertime and does his work, and he goes down to Florida for the winter time, because he likes it warm for some reason. Go figure. But anyway, he needs somebody to do his warranty work or service calls that come in when he's not here. So he calls me and I do them. And The cool part for him is I don't steal his customers. When his customers say, hey, can I call you? I said, no, call Steve because you're his customer. You're not my customer. And you know what? We got a good relationship because of that. But when I first started, like I said, I didn't have any contacts. So I had to have a way. I even thought about doing home warranty work. And I had done that work before. And when you do home warranty work, you're the middleman. And when you go tell a customer, well, the insurance company's not going to cover that, they get mad at you for some reason. And it's not even your fault because you're not making any money off of it, off the insurance policy. You're just a middleman. You're a contractor. But that's actually another video that's soon to come. So insurance work was out of the way, was not insurance, but home warranty work was without question out of the picture. So what I did was I remembered that when I worked for somebody else, they were a bigger company. When I worked for them, the business owner was talking about using Service Magic, and that was the only thing I'd ever heard about them. So I called them up, and didn't cost me a cent to sign up. I signed up with them, and we explained my leads, how much each thing would cost, because there's different costs for what you do. If you do installs, it's like $50 or $60 per install. And so I had those on there for a little bit, but when you do that type of lead, what happens is two other people get those leads along with you. And then so every one I only got 3 of them. And I found out right quick I needed to just take those off because I lost $150 off of bogus ones or, oh, I went with somebody else kind of deal. So I decided that part wasn't for me. I was just going to strictly do service. So my average call that they charge me for is about $16. And now I'm a small guy and I control my phone. When it rings, if I don't want to answer it, I won't answer it and I'll let it go to voicemail if I'm really busy. I'll look at the number. But if I see their number pop up when I have my leads turned on, and that's another cool part about them, is remember, it didn't cost me a dime to sign up with them. They only charge me for what leads come in, and I can turn my leads off anytime I want to. So if I'm really busy, first thing I do is make sure my leads are turned off so I don't get any work coming in. Because it's just, if you just called me out of the blue and said, hey, I need you to come out, I can make arrangements with you to say, well, I'm really busy today. I can come out at 10 o'clock tonight, or I can come out at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, and let you decide. Because I will work till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. Doesn't bother me a bit. But when I use them and I'm really busy, what'll happen is maybe somebody will get there before I can, or they go ahead and tell 2 different contractors that, hey, come on out. And then so anyway, so I just don't want that kind of confusion or whatever, so I just turn my leads off. Because I don't mind taking on the work, I just don't want to have to pay for a call and not get it. So I just turn them off. But anyway, so the first year I used them, they were 95% of my work, which was cool because, like I said, I wouldn't have had that work would have not been for them. And now, and we'll look at my reviews here in a minute, but now that my reviews are so high and they're so good, I actually have people just wanting me when they go to that site and look up different contractors, which is really cool. Because after the people use me, and I have gotten actually a referral from a referral from a referral from a referral from one $16 call. So for that one $16 call, I got 4 new customers out of that because they liked me when I came out. So they told their friend, who told their friend, who told their friend, who told their friend. As you can see by the warranty stuff I've done, some of those are actually referrals from referrals. from ServiceMagic, or they're Home Advisor now. They're not ServiceMagic anymore. So that ServiceMagic or Home Advisor works if you know how to play the game, but you gotta know how to play the game in order for it to work, or you will go broke if you don't play the game right. So anyway, so let's go look at the reviews, and let's just go look at the reviews. Alright, so as you can see, the top left hand side, I've got a 4.98 rating with 76 verified reviews. The cool part about these reviews is I can't touch them whatsoever. The only thing I can do is respond to them if I get a bad one for some reason. And I have gotten a bad review from it, but as soon as I straightened it out with a customer, it actually got taken off. Because it was just a misunderstanding. Alright, so anyway, the first one there, you see it's a 4.83. The guy was, I straightened his problem out. He, you know, he wished he had my number the first time around. But anyway, I've got a lot of them on here. I've had people actually leave their cell phone numbers on here. So one guy said, this guy right here, this Thomas in Flowery Branch, I went out there to his house. I remember it like it was yesterday, but it was June of last year. He had a 20-year-old system, and he had a Freon leak in his indoor coil, and instead of just changing his coil, he changed his whole system. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but he said he liked a no-nonsense approach and a no hard sell, and that's me. I just don't, you know, I just want to treat people like I want to be treated. There's one there that and actually, if you went back on the first one there, that Kermit F, if you go back in my video about what kind of spider this is, this was that house right there. I was there within 2 hours, took care of the problem, explained it to the tenant and him. So, and he lived in a different state, and he gave me a credit card over the phone. So some of them are really small. Great service, great guy. This one here, yeah, it's a true professional in repairing my AC the same day. You know, I get a lot of these called right away, because you have to call right away, because that's part of the game. If you don't, then you'll lose it. And what happens, since I have so many reviews and they're so good, this one here, she gave me a 4.33, but then she says that out of the 5 companies, I called and went out the same day where they couldn't make it, and she was really happy with my work, and was really glad I could squeeze her in that day. That one turned out to be a Freon leak in the indoor coil on the air handler, so we just changed the coil on that one. About a 6-year-old system. And I remember these calls. Some of them I get calls and I can fix them over the phone. Now it costs me about $16 to fix it over the phone, and you might say, hey, I'm crazy for doing that, but am I really? Because that's the only time I have to pay that $16, and when you tell people how to fix their stuff over the phone, they're going to remember you, and they're going to call you back, and they're going to tell their friends. So it's really, you know, you, like I said, if you treat people, oh, here's that one right there. See, I received a phone call from TNN Services. I told them my problem, and over the phone I was walked through it. I didn't need anything. It turned out to be operator error. Thanks again, TNN. That guy will remember me when he has a problem. So anyway, if you want to read the rest of these, I'm not going to go through them all. I've got some really truly good ones, and you know, the only bad part about these reviews here is I guess I could copy and paste every single one of them somewhere, but they don't go over into other sites. Once they're here, they're here. And other sites can't use them. Oh, this is a cool one right here, this Gregory H. in Atlanta. What happened with this guy was, he had, and this is no kidding, this guy had another knucklehead come out to his house and see if I can move it back, maybe you can read it. But anyway, he had a guy come out to his house, and I swear to God, this guy spent 3 freaking days trying to figure out what was wrong with the guy's furnace. He paid this guy $625, and the furnace did not work when the guy left. After 3 days of coming out there and figuring this thing out. Well, I go out there, and within about 20 minutes, I figured it out. It was the circuit board. He had bad pressure, or something was wrong with the pressure switch. I was able to adjust it actually and get it working, and it turned out to be bad circuit board. And the guy had put a new circuit board on it. So I don't know what he did, but anyway. So I had the guy fixed. I had to rewire a bunch of stuff as well. And then the guy was like, man, he said, I'm retired from the military. He said, I just spent $625 with this guy. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to leave you down here without heat. Just, I'll go ahead and fix it. I had the board on my truck. I'll go ahead and fix it, and you just send me the money. And then so, I fixed it for the guy. And I could, because that's just the type of guy I am. But anyway, so there's some really great reviews on here. I just wish they would go over to other sites. And one more thing, I don't know if I mentioned it on this warranty thing right here that I did. That's the one where the guy had called me and I was just driving by his house. One thing I wanted to say about this one right here, I didn't charge the guy. I think I said that, but I didn't charge the guy at all to come out to his house and relight his pilot. Because sometimes you don't have to collect when you go out to these. Now, you can't tell a business owner that, because it doesn't, for some reason, they've been to all these business consulting classes, and it's just ingrained in their head that whenever you go to somebody's house, you have to get as much money from them as you possibly can. But you don't. Because this guy remembered me for just not charging him and just treating him like he was my neighbor. And I do charge people for what things cost when I have to go do their stuff, but something like that, lighting a water heater when I was driving by his house, didn't cost me anything but time. So anyway, just because you go to somebody's house does not mean you have to charge for it. I mean, just come on. Anyway, but that's my that's how the small business guy can get his leads or work if he has no contacts. And if you have any more, if you have any questions about it, I'd be happy to tell you about it. I really didn't want to advertise for the site, but it's not. I don't really consider it advertising for their site. I kind of I'm thinking about what I can do to help you out as the small business guy like me. Anyway, have a great day.